Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcoming you to another edition of Game Time with Kenny as we are back in the house. And in this edition, we will be covering about what happened in sports history. Well, we're going to catch you back up from the weekend and up until Monday in this edition because we did not do a program over the weekend or on. All right, so let's start off with Saturday, April the 27th. What happened this day in sports? Well, in 1903, it was the first New York Highlanders shut up as they shut out the Philadelphia Athletics and win 6-0. In 1908, October 31st, the games of the Fourth Olympiad are held in London, England. Women compete in the modern Olympics for the first time. In 1918, the Brooklyn Dodgers get the first victory after the worst major league start at no wins and 9 losses. In 1935, the New York Yankees pull a first inning triple play and beat Philadelphia Athletics 9-8. They are now the Oakland Athletics. In 1935, they were the Philadelphia Athletics. In 1944, the Boston Braves, Jim Tobin no-hits the Brooklyn Dodgers 2-0. In 1947, Babe Ruth Day celebrated at Yankee Stadium and throughout the U.S. In 1953, wrestler Freddie Blassie, or Blassie, yes, I'm sorry, Blasek, coins the term pencil neck geek. In 1956, the heavyweight champion Rocky Marciano retires undefeated from boxing. In 1961, NFL officially recognizes the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. In 1968, Baltimore Orioles player Phoebus no-hits the Boston 6-0. Also in 1968, Jimmy Ellis beats Jerry Quarry for heavyweight boxing title. In 1969, Carol Mann wins the LPGA Raleigh Ladies Golf Invitational. In 1971, Curt Flood resigns from Washington Senators after 13 games and departs for Denmark. In 1973, Kansas City Royals Steve Busby no-hits the Detroit Tigers and wins 3-0. 1975, Sandra Haney wins the LPGA Charity Golf Classic. 1978, it was the 14th Mayor's Trophy game. The Yankees beat the New York Mets 4-3 in 11 innings. In 1980, Barbara Barrow wins the LPGA Birmingham Golf Classic. In 1983, the Houston Astros pitcher Nolan Ryan breaks Walter Johnson's 56-year-old record by striking out Brad Mills for his 3,509th career strikeout. In 1984, the Cleveland Indians beat the Detroit Tigers 8-4 in 19 innings. In 1986, Pat Bradley wins the LPGA SNH Golf Classic. In 1990, there are two things that take place. The LA Dodgers Orel Hershiser undergoes career shoulder surgery, and Villanova's women sets a 6,000-meter relay world record of 17 minutes or 17 hours, 18 minutes, and 10 seconds. In 1991, the Firestone World Bowling Tournament of Champions won by David Ozzio. In 1992, there are a couple things take place. The New York Jets finish a perfect 5-0 preseason for the first time, and the New York Mets trade David Cone to Toronto Blue Jays for Jeff Kent. In 1993, all 30 members of the Zambia national football team lose their lives in a plane crash off Libreville, Gabon en route to Dakar, Senegal to play a 1994 FIFA World Cup qualifying match against Senegal, the most tragic incident to date in African football history. In 1994, there are three things that take place. Graeme Aubrey bicycles world record time 52,713 kilometers. The Minnesota Twins rightly Scott Erickson no-hits the Milwaukee Brewers 6-0. And the seventh longest NHL game, the New Jersey Devils beat the Buffalo Sabres 123 minutes and 43 seconds. In 1996, the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions, won by Dave d'Entremont. And in 1997, there are two events that take place here. Frank Nobilo wins the Greater Greensboro Chrysler Classic at Forest Oaks, and Nancy Lopez wins the LPGA Chick-fil-A Charity Championship. And now we move to Sunday, April the 28th. This is what happened on April 28th. Back in 1901, there were two things that take place here. The first soccer game between Belgium and Netherlands. Belgium wins 8-0 there. The Cleveland Blues pitcher Buck Baker gives up a record 23 singles as the Chicago White Sox beat the Cleveland Blues 13-1. That also took place in 1901. In 1923, Wembley Stadium opens Bolton Wanderers versus West Ham United FA Cup. In 1930, the first night organized baseball game, Independence, Kansas. 1931, the program for women athletes approved for 1932 Olympics track and events. 1934, there's a couple things taking place here. Soccer team blue, white 34 forms, and the Detroit Tigers Goose Goslin grounds into 4 straight double plays. In 1952, there's a couple of things that do take place here. Patty Bird wins the LPGA Richmond Golf Open, and the St. Louis Browns lend 2 black minor league players to Hakyu Braves of Japan. In 1956, Cincinnati Reds Frank Robinson hits his first of 586 home runs. 1957, Patty Bird wins the LPGA Western Golf Open. 1961, Warren Spahn pitches second no-hitter at 41, beats San Francisco Giants 1-0. 1963, Marilyn Smith wins the LPGA Title Holders Golf Championship. In 1965, Lindsey Nelson broadcasts game at Astrodome from a hanging gondola. In 1966, two things happen here. The 20th NBA Championship, the Boston Celtics beat the LA Lakers 4-3. Also, the Cleveland Indians tie a record with 10th straight win since opening day. In 1967, Muhammad Ali refuses induction into Army and is stripped of boxing title. In 1968, Carol Mann wins the LPGA Raleigh Ladies Golf Invitational. In 1972, the courts award the Kentucky Derby prize money to second place winner because the winner was given drugs before the race. In 1974, Jane Baylock wins the LPGA Birmingham Golf Classic. In 1985, Alice Miller wins the LPGA SNH Golf Classic. Also in 1985, Billy Martin named New York Yankees manager for a 4th time. Also in 1985, Fernando Valenzuela sets a record of 41 scoreless innings to start the season. In 1987, the NBA announces expansion to Charlotte, North Carolina, and Miami, Florida in 1988, and Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Orlando, Florida in 1989. In 1988, two things also take place here. The Baltimore Ravens lose the American League record 21 games in a row. The New Jersey Devils sets an all-time playoff mark for penalty minutes. In 1990, the Boston Celtics score the most points in an NBA playoff, beating the New York Knicks 157-128. In 1990, the Firestone World Bowling Tournament of Champions, won by Dave Ferraro. In 1992, the Milwaukee Brewers beat the Toronto Blue Jays 22-2 with American League record 31 hits in 9 innings. In 1993, the New York Islanders beat the Washington Capitals 4-1 in the playoffs. The Capitals' Dale Hunter attacks Pierre Turgeon after scoring in hockey's worst cheap shot. And in 1996, Meg Mallon wins the LPGA Sara Lee Golf Classic. All right. And also on that note, For the NHL, Dominic Hasek for the Buffalo Sabres. He had a 70 save playoff shutout and Oracle history 25 years later. It was just an amazing season. That was in the 1993-94 season. Incredible. It was just the first season as a starter, and he led the NHL in save percentage and goals against average. He won the first of 6 Vezina trophies and finished second for the Hart Trophy as league MVP, leading the Buffalo Sabres to 95 points and 4th place in the Northeast Division. The first round playoff opponent that spring was the New Jersey Devils. The Devils had a 106-point season behind coach Jacques Lemaire and Hall of Fame goalie Martin Brodeur, who would win the Calder Trophy as the season's top rookie. Just amazing. The Devils won Game 5 at home to take a 3-2 series lead, and they had a chance to eliminate the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo in a game that started on April 27, 1994, 25 years ago this Saturday. But it wouldn't end until April 28th at 1:52 a.m. after a 4-overtime affair that saw Dominic Hasek make 70 saves and 0 goals against. Dave Hannan finally beat Brodeur, who had 49 saves at 5 minutes and 43 seconds of the final stanza, giving the Sabres a 1-0 victory and forcing a Game 7. That was just an amazing feat in hockey that took place on April 27th, 25 years ago on Saturday. Dominic Hasek, 70 saves without giving up a goal, and they win a 1-0 game in Game 6 at Buffalo against the New Jersey Devils and force a Game 7. A remarkable feat in hockey history. Now let's go to the day in sports from April 29th. All right, in this one, in 1901, 27th Kentucky Derby, Jimmy Winkfield on his Eminence wins in 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 75 seconds. In 1918, Tris Speaker ties a career outfield record of 4 unassisted double plays. In 1922, the first official International Weightlifting Federation champion, Tallinn, Estonia. In 1930, there are 123 runs are scored in 7 Major League Baseball games. 1931, the Cleveland Indians' Wes Ferrell no-hits St. Louis Browns 9-0. In 1934, Pittsburgh is last Major League Baseball city to play a home game on a Sunday. In 1936, the first pro baseball game in Japan is played. Nagoya defeats Tokyo 8-5. In 1948, Donald Bradman scores 107. Australia versus Worcestershire, 152 minutes and 15 fours. 1953, Joe Adcock is first to homer in Polo Grounds center field bleachers. In 1956, Betsy Rawls wins the LPGA Peach Blossom Golf Open. 1961, ABC TV debuts ABC's Wide World of Sports, hosted by Jim McKay. In 1962, Mickey Wright wins the LPGA Title Holders Golf Championship. 1973, Gloria Everett wins the LPGA Birmingham Golf Classic. In 1979, Jane Blalock wins the LPGA Audie Chrisman Golf Classic. In 1981, Philadelphia Phillies Steve Carlton is first lefty to strike out 3,000 batters. In 1984, Betsy King wins the LPGA Freedom Orlando Golf Classic. In 1985, Ranger Larry Parrish is fifth to hit 3 home runs in a game in both leagues. In 1985, Tony Tubbs TKOs Greg Page in 15 for heavyweight boxing championship. In 1986, Roger Clemens of the Boston Red Sox sets the record for the most strikeouts in a 9-inning Major League Baseball game, striking out 20 Seattle Mariners players. In 1987, the Chicago Cubs' Andre Dawson hits for the cycle. In 1988, Baltimore Orioles defeats the Chicago White Sox 9-0 for first. 1988, win after 21 losses. In 1990, Dan Queensberry, all-time American League save king, 238, announces his retirement. 1995 Kansas City Royals player John Nunley is 70th to home run on his first time at bat. 1996 New York Mets pitcher John Franco becomes the first left-hander to record 300 saves. 1997 Kansas City Royals player Chili Davis is 75th to hit 300 home runs. And in 2006, Hoffman appears as a pitcher in his 803rd game for the San Diego Padres, establishing a new record for games pitched for any one team. Well, I do want to thank you for this, watching this edition of Game Time with Kenny. Please subscribe to the channel. Please send this link, share link with your Facebook friends, Twitter, any social media sites. We love your feedback. Please comment, and we will get back to those comments as quickly as I can. Well, thank you for watching this edition, and you have a great day, and bye.